Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 2 and we will present about how to read and get the most out of a journal article. But first, let me introduce ourselves. The first one, Hafiz Azizi, and then Rafiq Agifari, and me, Rabian Fari Taufik, and last one is ex-father Amaratul. So let's get started to the first slide. And the first topic is why we need to read a journal article. The first one, as a resources for research project. We as a college student, we need to write a thesis as a final project to graduate from our campus. So we need to read an article that related to our topic. Not only making a thesis, but also making any writing project. And maybe the article will be the resource for that. Next is not only for research project, but also as an update information. For instance, news today about forest in Canada, or maybe the spreading of COVID-19 in Indonesia. And the last one, as a material or reading resource in our class. Exactly that. These three, there are more reasons why we need to read an article. But I only give three important points why we need to read it. And the second slide, how we read an article. Sometimes an article is hard to understand, so we need to concentrate or maybe focus. So we need a quiet place to do it. No noisy, no trouble, no something that make you feel annoyed. So you can concentrate and focus to your read. And then make an outline. Make an outline means like you make an underline or pick a main point from the article that is important to your project. I mean the final project, I mean the writing project. And next is scanning and skimming. Scanning and skimming mean to help you to find the important things from the article rather than read all of the things that may be useless or maybe not so important to your reading, I mean your writing. And then there are three paths that maybe help you, or there's a three strategy that maybe help you to read an article that will be presented by Aziz, Exfaldo, and Algi.
Alright, next we're going to talk about Keshav 3 pass. The first pass. The first pass focus on getting an overview of the text and article by performing scanning and skimming for about 5 to 10 minutes. Then follow these 5 steps. First one, read the title, abstract, and introduction with care. Second one, focusing on section and subsection heading. Third one, determining basic grounding of the paper by looking all available statistical content within the paper itself. The fourth one, read the conclusion. And the fifth one, check the reference to see if there are some works that you may recognize. These steps help you to see if whether the works is good or useful or interesting. And it also helps you to see what the author trying to find out. After you have done these 5 steps, you can ask yourself these type of questions. The first one is category. For example, what type of the paper is this? Or is it an introduction to new methodology or something like that? Second one, the context type, such as what kind of part of literature that this work related to, or what is the base theory of this work. The third one is correctness. This type of question include, is the assumption of the author correct or not? The fourth one, how would this paper contribute to the existing scientific understanding? And the last type, clarity. Is this easy to understand? Or is it well written? Or something like that. After you're done all of this, then you can go to the next steps. Thank you.
Number 2 is second pass. You have to read paper with greater care but ignore details such as math proofs. As you read, have these questions in mind and try to answer them. Are the figures, diagrams, and illustrations making sense? Are the axes labeled properly? Were the conclusions statistically significant? Are there any new or unread references? Mark them down for future reference. You may want to read them. Second pass should take around 1 hour and you should grasp the content of the paper and be able to summarize the main objective of the paper with supporting evidence to someone else. There might be times where you don't understand the paper completely because you may be unfamiliar with the terminology and acronyms. Or there could be novel experimental techniques that were new and that's why bulk of the paper is incomprehensible to you. Or it could just be that the paper is poorly written with unsubstantiated claims and assertions which you may not have agree with.
The last step is third pass. The third pass is for people who needed to fully understand and apprehend the contents of the work. What is needed is that the reader have to be proactive, and to recreate the assumptions and work of the author, which means the reader have to be very focused and send full attention of minor details, assumptions, or possible author's failure through the process of virtually implementing the work, that is. And also it can take a longer time than the twos, up to 3 to 5 hours or so. For beginner, for experienced person, it could take only for about 1 hour. It is also a helpful method to do literature research. Usually, we search for literature that corresponds with our own specialization, and there is a way to find the type of piece of literature that you needed to find. What you can do first is search using academic search engine, like Google Scholars. Type specific words that you can find in 3 to 5 recent works about the topic. Use the first pass to find the keyword in this one. If no, the second one, if no luck comes in finding the paper, look for repeating author name and shared citation in text. Then go to the author website if there is and see what are their recent work. The third way is go to conference website and browse the latest proceedings, which can allow you to identify the latest high quality work in the field. In this three-way, all of the three paths can also be performed, for it is very useful and helpful as well. So that is all our presentation. Thank you for listening and thank you for viewing. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.